Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Suzanne Monk, host of the one and only Trump Talk, the only live Periscope cast, all about Donald J. Trump. And it has been a very tragic news day, unfortunately. So let's get started talking about what has been happening. Trump canceled his Miami rally in the wake of the Dallas police officer shootings. As we all know, several police officers, 12 police officers, I believe, were shot in Dallas at a protest for recent police-related shootings in Louisiana and Minnesota. And apparently 5 officers are dead. And Trump, in the light of this, issued a very respectful tweet and canceled his rally as... Hey, Paris, how you doing? We're sad today over here because... you've heard the news. So, unfortunately, if you tried to tune into that rally, it didn't happen, and I think that was the right thing to do. As usual, Donald Trump makes very presidential decisions, despite what the media says. Hillary, unfortunately, I don't feel like she responded quite as warmly. Her tweet said something like, I mourn with the families of the officers who... thank you. Who are protecting peaceful protesters. You know, she had to add some agenda to it. And I feel like it's always some agenda with her. It's always some agenda with, unfortunately, Obama as well. And as we all know, they came out and talking again about guns are the reason that this happened, and ignoring the racial tensions that we're creating in this country. By continuing to focus only on these killings that occur when a white police officer shoots a black individual. We ignore the facts even in many of these cases so that we can focus only on these specific situations that fit the narrative. And we don't talk about officers who might shoot other individuals. There are, in fact, is police brutality. I live in Chicago, for crying out loud. We know there's police brutality. That in fact happens, but that isn't a racial thing. That is a law enforcement thing. Unfortunately, unions protect a lot of officers that have been involved in inappropriate activity. At the same time, there are thousands, perhaps millions, I don't know, millions of officers, good, decent citizens who go out and risk their lives every single day, who are making decisions, but we don't hear about the whole decision. We hear about the little part that fits the story. We hear about that little part. Thank you. It is that no one remembers that the unions, unfortunately, we've allowed public sector unions to become such a prevalent part of society that they are protecting the exact things we want to defend. We don't want the officers to do. And that's, they here in Chicago, a lot of bad cops got pushed around because the unions help them keep their jobs. And it makes it hard for us as citizens to have a safe police force. And I don't think the officers want that. Most officers want to do their job, and they want to do their job well. And unfortunately, there are situations where the narrative, it becomes all consumptive, and we don't even pay attention to the facts. It happened with Michael Brown. It happened again and again. Many of the facts, unfortunately, come out later after we've all made our crazy judgments. And at this point, I really feel that much of that hype is what causes these shootings to occur. That because we are focused on that racial tension as opposed to addressing the law enforcement issue, we end up creating more of the racial tension. And I think that's what's important. I think that's why it was important that Trump canceled today's rally and that we start talking about the racial divide. He mentioned that in his statement. There's a statement on his, I will post it on the Trump Talk US page. His statement about it was very strong. There's many cases we could go on. We could list any. There's Laquan here in Chicago. It goes on. There's many cases. So all of this, it's a great statement, and I'm going to post it on the Trump Talk. I'm a little verklempt about it because he spoke very clearly as Americans about the racial divide and about, unfortunately, how that's getting worse and worse, and how we need to address this, and we need to address this as a country and come together as a unified force on this, rather than continue the racial divide that is obviously put out, unfortunately, by the Democrats again and again and again in their narrative that Loretta Lynch came out and praised Black Lives Matter. Well, it's Black Lives Matter protesters that are inciting many of these violence against police officers. We've seen it to be true. We've seen individuals who are known members of the organization come out on their Facebook, on social media, and say insightful things. That's just facts. So unfortunately, we have the Attorney General coming out and praising these individuals on a day when people from that organization may be involved in the shooting. So, unfortunately, that's the situation we have. Now, let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. There's a rally on Monday, so we will go on. Life is going to go on. Unfortunately, life is going to go on, and hopefully this rash of shootings, because we know it's not just Dallas. There's been 3 other officers shot today across the country. So, there's a rally on Monday. Hopefully we'll get back to talking about economics and jobs and not these sad issues. In Virginia Beach, 1 p.m. on Monday. So if you can check that out, that would be a great thing. I want to do my Trump reason of the day. And when you ask me, why am I a Trump supporter? I'm going to show you a little picture here. I'm going to do a new segment called my Trump pick of the day. I'm a Trump supporter. One of the reasons I'm a Trump supporter is Donald J. Trump supports law enforcement. He is in support of the individuals who go out and risk their lives, and he says prevents us from having a world of chaos. We as Americans deserve the right to live in peace and in safety, and it is the law enforcement officials in our local areas that are making that possible each and every day. And he goes out and he treats law enforcement with respect. He treats them with respect wherever he goes. And he constantly is praising and supporting law enforcement. And that is the reason, that is my reason. I do the same. Even though it creeps him out sometimes, I do the same. I thank him all the time. And that is the reason I want a president who doesn't question maybe the cops are on the wrong side. Maybe we need more community relations. And I want a president who says, thank you, law enforcement, for going out there. And we need to help build the community to understand your job and how hard it is, and to help build those bridges together. Certainly not blaming our law enforcement again and again. And that's why I support Trump, because the black communities need good jobs and they need good law enforcement. And the white communities need good jobs and they need good law enforcement. And all of the other nationalities of people need good jobs and they need good law enforcement, and they need someone who supports that kind of security in our country and the rule of law. And Donald J. Trump is the only candidate that does that. I'm sorry, the Democrats, unfortunately, are promoting a culture of division in this society. And that's just straight up how it is. So that's my reason for the day. And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit in my little segment, how Trump beats Hillary Clinton in displaying leadership. Hillary, she's been all talk. Exactly, and all lies. Her whole tweet was, about me, I mourn. Oh, the peaceful protesters. It's always an agenda with Hillary Clinton. That's not leadership. And every time we have one of these instances, Donald Trump shows leadership. And that is how he's going to beat Hillary Clinton, because we need a leader. The country is dying, desperate, starving for a leader. Someone who can lead in these situations and show us how to come together with leadership. And Donald Trump is going to show us every time how to be a leader. And that's how he's going to beat Hillary. And so you guys tweet everything you can about Donald Trump's post. I'm going to share it on Trump Talk, share it with everybody. And let's now do my new little segment. Trump pick of the day. Now, usually I do Trump hotties, but I didn't think it was appropriate to do Trump hotties today. So I wanted to show you an excellent picture that I found of Donald Trump with some law enforcement officials. And we'll just take a look at it. Isn't that great? You can see his little... And look how happy they are. These guys are a little bit like, we're still waiting. But isn't this wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? That's what America's about. That is America. That is America. Right there. That's why I love Donald Trump. So, that's our show for today, folks. Please, if you pray for America. Pray for Donald Trump to win so that we can take this country back and restore the rule of law. For me and little Trumpy, we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully talking about some better Trump news. Hopefully it'll get better. But until then, God bless you guys. And God bless America. Let's keep trying to make it great again. Oh, you can find me here, Trumptarian. Here's the email. Here's all our videos. Love you guys too. Go Trump.